during your tour of duty in the country. Excellencies, we meet at a time when the international environment remains complex. Conflicts persist, economic uncertainty continues to affect many societies, and climate shocks are increasingly frequent and disruptive. In such a world, Tanzania remains firmly convinced that dialogue, cooperation, and multilateral solutions are indispensable, and the value of diplomacy is not ceremonial, it is essential. The past year has been impactful and one of profound transition, not only for us, but for our neighbors and allies. In memoriam, we pause to honor the prominent global icons who have passed away this last year. Their contributions to development will forever be etched in our history. We extend our deepest condolences to their nations while their legacies challenge us to lead with greater purpose. On the other hand, we have witnessed the wind of change, and we have watched with keen interest the various elections across our continent. We congratulate the newly elected governments in our brotherly nations. Tanzania stands ready to work with these new administrations to strengthen African Union's vision of an integrated and prosperous continent. We note with satisfaction the prevailed democratic resilience across the globe. Despite our own challenges, we celebrate the peaceful transition of power seen in friendly nations abroad, including some of your own countries. Their success provides us with a roadmap for our own institutional reforms. As you are aware, diplomacy is deeply rooted in mutual respect, and I wish to take this moment to extend my warmest congratulations to all nations celebrating their national days this month. Tanzania celebrates with you. Your progress inspires our own, and your friendship is a pillar of our foreign policy. Excellencies, the past year was a significant chapter in Tanzania's journey. Economic diplomacy remained central to Tanzania's foreign policy, with government's efforts focused on attracting investment, strengthening public-private partnerships, and expanding priority sectors to drive economic growth, create employment, and promote inclusive development. My administration remains committed to further unlocking our economy by, among other things, empowering the private sector. Looking ahead, we'll pay particular attention to the blue and green economies, logistics, manufacturing, and digital landscape. Furthermore, we are eager to harness our extractive sector, including natural gas, iron, steel, and critical minerals, to drive national development. Excellencies, as you are aware, we successfully conducted our 7th democratic election, achieving a milestone with nearly 44% women representing in the National Assembly, and the election was solely financed through domestic resources. This underscored national ownership, institutional maturity, and the government's commitment to self-reliance in managing democratic processes. Despite these remarkable achievements, with heavy hearts, we acknowledge the challenges of the unrest and violence on the election day and shortly thereafter. Our response was essential to maintain constitutional order and ensure safety of all citizens and diplomatic community. To our partners in the diplomatic community and the foreigners residing here in Tanzania, I express my sincere sympathy for the uncertainty, service disruption, and internet shutdowns you experienced. I assure you, we remain vigilant to ensure your safety and prevent any repeat of such experiences. Excellencies, democracy is a journey of growth. Every political system contains grievances. It is clear that there is no global formula for these unique challenges, and we must afford each other the space to learn and grow with humility. To those who send solidarity and congratulatory messages, we thank you. To those who didn't, we take note of your feedback too. I ask your friends of goodwill to lend their support to our reforms. And to those who may not share our vision, I ask that you at least respect our sovereignty. The voice of Tanzanians has been heard through the ballot box, and that voice must be respected. To foster national healing, or in order to foster national healing, I've undertaken the following steps. 1, establishment of the Ministry of Youth under President's Office to institutionalize the image of our next generation. But 2, pardoned 1,787 convicts associated with the unrest and violence of 29th October last year. 3, constituted an independent commission of inquiry in accordance with our Constitution. And lastly, pledged to establish a Truth and Reconciliation Commission to proceed our new constitution process. My administration is resolved to use this second term to repair, rebuild, and renew our nation. To my fellow Tanzanians, the discord we witnessed is not who we are. It's not at all. To our international partners, we recognize that stability is the currency of diplomacy. Today, I plead that our path forward will be paved with the stones of justice, dialogue, and a renewed respect for the democratic process. And in this regard, allow me to quote philosopher Søren Kierkegaard, who once said, "Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards." In this context, as a country, we understand the mistakes of our past, but our eyes are fixed firmly on the future. Excellencies, Tanzania remains one of the Africa's fastest growing economy, with almost 6% GDP growth and inflation maintained at a stable 3.3%. In addition, the national debt continues to be sustainable, with the debt to GDP ratio currently standing at 48.2%, below the threshold of 55% for low-income countries. As for our capital markets, the Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange saw market capitalization rise by 34.3%, reaching billions of Tanzanian shilling, about 23,995 by year end. In addition, we have continued to enjoy favorable credit score, B1 from Moody and B+ from Fitch credit rating. This stable outlook signals investors' confidence, lower borrowing costs, and economic resilience, which marks a positive step in building international confidence and attracting more foreign direct investment. We endeavor to ensure continued governance reforms, reducing foreign currency shortages, and improving the tax to GDP ratio. The favorable credit ratings and stable economic outlook led to registration of 927 new investment projects by December 2025, with a combined value exceeding $11.09 billion, representing a significant 19.03% increase compared to the previous year. The registration of these projects in 2025 stands at the record of the highest number of projects registered in calendar year since the establishment of the Tanzania Promotion Agency, breaking the record of 905 projects last year. On these 927 projects, 66, equivalent to 7.12%, are expansion projects demonstrating sustained confidence by existing investors in Tanzania's growth trajectory and its investment climate. Collectively, the 927 projects are expected to generate more than 162,895 new jobs for Tanzanians, while foreign direct investment (FDI) remained robust. Local investors' participation also remained strong, with 288 projects, equivalent to 31.07%, expected to be implemented by domestic investors, reflecting growing confidence among Tanzanian entrepreneurs. To our investors, we pledge to ensure the existing and new investments are protected and secured. On the other hand, in 2025, we continued with our industrialization journey, and we have experienced a rise in key economic sectors. The leading sectors include agriculture, of which its productivity continued to grow, with the food self-sufficiency ratio standing at 120% in 2024-25, reflecting a growth of around 3.2% over the period. In mining, we witnessed a further surge in activity, with mineral production increasing by 48.27 from 10.6 trillion in 2023-24 to 15.8 trillion in 24-25. The percent driven largely by gold, coal, building and industrial material. We are leveraging the 47.27% surge in mineral production witnessed in 2024-25 to bolster our national economic security. We now require large-scale miners to refine and sell at least 20% of their gold to the central bank to bolster our foreign reserves. We have also witnessed notable growth in the tourism sector, with receipts rising from $1.3 billion in 2021 up to $4 billion in third quarter of 2025. Furthermore, Tanzania was honored as the world's leading safari destination 2025 at the World Travel Awards, reaffirming our standing as a premier global destination for wildlife and nature-based tourism. This recognition attests to our strong commitment to conservation, high-quality service delivery, and suitable tourism development, while further strengthening investor and visitor confidence in Tanzania as a safe, attractive, and rewarding destination. To further promote tourism, trade, and connectivity across the African continent, Air Tanzania expanded its route network in 2025 to key destinations and supporting the growth of intra-African tourism. We remain focused on expanding our connectivity, accelerating infrastructure development, and diversifying tourism offerings as we position Tanzania as a regional hub for tourism, trade, and logistics in Africa. Excellencies, this year marks the launch of Tanzanian Development Vision 2050, or Dira 2050, aiming for double-digit economic expansion through productivity gains in agriculture and industrial value addition. In this regard, we will also prioritize new economic frontiers by unlocking the blue economy, green economy, logistics, and digital landscape. Key focus will also be placed on harnessing natural gas, and our efforts will be geared toward the finalization of the $42 billion liquefied natural gas project, which will position Tanzania as a major player in the global energy market. On the other hand, the country is building an enabling environment that will attract investment, innovation, and promote local value addition in the critical mineral sector. Our drive will be towards promoting responsible investment that power the technologies of tomorrow, support the global energy transition, industrial development, and ensure direct benefits for Tanzanians. We invite governments, private sector actors, and development agencies to come partner with us in this key sector. My government is committed to managing these resources responsibly, transparently, and inclusively. I note with great enthusiasm the recent G20 endorsement of the critical minerals agenda. Tanzania fully supports this initiative and stands ready to engage actively with international partners to ensure that these resources contribute both global clean technologies and inclusive growth at home. Excellencies, as we all know, to unlock the economy, we need to invest in key infrastructure projects. Work is still going on to ensure completion of the standard gauge railway and the East African crude oil pipeline, which is set for completion in July 2026. The completion of Julius Nyerere hydropower plant and the operationalization of the SGR are not just engineering milestones, but engines of our new mineral economy. We are also putting a strong emphasis on value addition, export capacity, and job creation through the special economic zones by linking infrastructure and industrial ecosystems. Our message is clear. Tanzania is moving from exporting raw potential to exporting the value-added commodities. Within this strategy, ports and trade gateways play a critical role. Furthermore, we are advancing strategic projects, including Bagamoyo and its associated industrial ecosystem, not for prestige, but to unlock trade, industry, and competitiveness. Our infrastructure agenda is designed to serve Tanzania and the wider region as a platform for shared growth. Excellencies, as our economy diversifies and scales, human capital remains at the heart of our development strategy and the ultimate guarantee of our national resilience. Tanzania youth are the heartbeat of our 10% growth target. Vision 2050 has set a clear path to their prosperity. We moved beyond rhetorics by establishing the Ministry of Youth under my office, a strategic move to institutionalize their energy and directly integrate them into $1 trillion economic vision. We now invite the international community to partner with us in transforming this youthful passion into skilled human capital, and that will drive our national transformation. We are cognizant of the fact that a competitive economy is impossible without a healthy workforce in building a dynamic and a healthy human capital. Tanzania fundamentally transitioning from a reliance on health aid toward a strategic focus on health investment. As a core pillar of our 2026 foreign policy, our vision for $1 trillion economy is inseparable from our roll-out universal health insurance and resilient medical infrastructure. So I take this opportunity to invite the diplomatic community to move beyond traditional assistance and instead engaging with us in medical diplomacy by supporting our ambition to become a regional hub for specialized care. We intend to leverage the high reputation of institutions like 𝐊𝐄𝐊𝐋𝐈𝐌𝐀𝐍𝐉𝐀𝐿 Cardiac Institute to attract both medical as well as sustainable tourism. Simultaneously, I call for the facilitation of technology transfer to support our newly launched Pharmaceutical Investment Acceleration Program, which includes a Greenland fast-track approval system to attract investors and expedite decisions related to licensing, regulation, and other approvals. We welcome investors to come and establish local manufacturing plants so as to drastically reduce our dependency on imported essential medicines. Excellencies, climate resilience is equally centrally to our agenda. To us, climate action is not an abstract debate. It is a development and security imperative. It is a development and security imperative to take a lead in green diplomacy. We will operationalize our carbon credit market and our national clean cooking strategy to ensure that our transition to a green economy is both inclusive and gender responsive. And so I invite you to join us in Greenland partnerships that move beyond pledged aid toward the actual transfer of climate-smart technologies and predictable financing. Tanzania is ready to serve as a global carbon sink and a renewable energy hub, but this must be partnership of mutual respect that protects our sovereignty while safeguarding our planet for the future generations. Excellencies, I note with satisfaction the great strides made in our bilateral ties with our various countries in the year 2025. We were privileged to undertake various high-level visits to your countries, and we also had the honor to welcome and host high-level dignitaries from your respective countries and across the world. Through these visits, we have significantly solidified and concretized our relations on areas of mutual interest. We will ensure effective implementation of the outcomes of these visits. More areas of cooperation are expected to emerge through the joint permanent commissions and joint cooperation commissions and other joint platforms. We value the partnership we have with your respective countries and organizations and appreciate the significant contribution in the implementation of our national development. Excellencies, allow me now to highlight key milestones we made with some of your countries. We remain grateful to the government of the People's Republic of China for the launch of the China-Zambia Prosperity Belt, the securing of the $1.4 billion of the revitalization of the historic Tazara Railway will not just honor the legacy of our two founding fathers, but position Tanzania as the primary logistics gateway to the entire SADC region. As we are modernizing this corridor, we invite more partners to join us in this prosperity belt where our geography, our youth, and our peace converge to be the modern and competitive Africa. On the other hand, we note with satisfaction our partnership with the Russian Federation through the Mantra Tanzania investment in the Mkuju River Uranium Project. This $1.2 billion investment aims to unlock one of the world's largest uranium deposits and move Tanzania beyond resource extraction to secure high-value technology and thousands of industrial jobs for our youth. As for our partners in the United States, our collaboration on $2.1 billion project of the Kabanga Nickel project is a shining example of our not business as usual approach to bilateral cooperation by moving towards a final investment decision this year. We are not just opening the mine, but launching a modern green industrial revolution. We value these partnerships for its commitment to domestic refining and value addition, ensuring our resources are converted into high-quality jobs and shared prosperity. This spirit of openness and shared prosperity is precisely why our diplomatic family continues to grow. We warmly welcome the Slovak Republic and Republic of Hungary to the Tanzanian diplomatic community, as the opening of their full-fledged embassies in Dar es Salaam marks a significant milestone in our commitment to deepening economic diplomacy and expanding strategic partnership across European continent. In this respect, through you, Excellencies, Ambassadors, and High Commissioners, on behalf of the Government of Tanzania, I wish to extend our sincere gratitude to your governments for the unwavering support that facilitated smooth bilateral engagements. Excellencies, fostering regionalism is one of the key principles of our foreign policy. We firmly believe in and appreciate the role of regional and sub-regional organizations in addressing regional challenges, be it development or peace and security challenges. As the host of the East African community, we remain committed to the East African Vision 2050, and we will continue to champion the Common Market Protocol and the promotion of Kiswahili as a regional lingua franca. Tanzania has successfully moved from a position of cautious protectionism to one of proactive leadership, facilitating free movement of goods, labor, and services that underpins the 2026 goal of a more unified and competitive East African cooperation. Excellencies, as founding member of SADC, our role in the region will continue to be defined by a resolute commitment to collective security and the principle that regional development is impossible without peace. Tanzania can be viewed as a consensus builder for its pivotal role of successfully hosting the landmark joint EAC SADC summit in Dar es Salaam to harmonize fragmented peace processes into a single cohesive African-led framework. This summit sent a clear message that just as our challenges are shared, so must be our solutions, reaffirming the mantra African solutions for African problems. Excellencies, on the continental stage, Tanzania's voice has never been more vital. As the third vice chairperson of the African Union and a member of the African Union Peace and Security Council over the past 4 years, the United Republic of Tanzania has played an active and constructive role in shaping Africa's governance and peace and security architecture. Guided by a long-standing tradition of Pan-African solidarity and responsible multilateralism, Tanzania has consistently championed diplomacy, inclusive dialogue, and African-led solution as the most effective pathways to conflict resolution, social cohesion, national unity, and lasting stability. Through principled engagement in council deliberations, calm and balanced diplomacy, and steadfast respect to constitutional order, Tanzania has contributed meaningfully to timely responses to conflict and emerging security challenges, thereby enforcing or reinforcing the credibility, unity, and effectiveness of African Union Peace and Security Council in advancing a peaceful, secured, and resilient continent. Excellencies, in addition, we are using our mandate in the AU Bureau to drive the second 10-year plan of Agenda 2063, specifically focusing on African Free Continental Trade Area, full implementation and the global elevation of Kiswahili as a tool for trade. In leveraging the African Continental Free Trade Area, Tanzania continues to engage in trade activities, whereas we have recorded positive balance of trade through the African Continental Free Trade Area Guided Trade Initiative. Also, as the champion of women and youth in trade and the African Continental Free Trade Area, I call upon the international community to support the financial inclusion agenda for women and youth to facilitate their involvement in trade. On multilateralism, Excellencies, we are meeting at a time when the global architecture of cooperation is under strain. Growing unilateralism threatens to bypass the very institutions that have maintained global peace for decades. Tanzania's response to this trend is clear. Multilateralism is not optional, it is essential. Tanzania's commitment to regionalism and multilateralism remains unshaken. In an area of growing unilateralism, we believe multilateral platforms are the only way to balance interests and coordinate actions for the global good. In 2025, we utilize every multilateral platform to advocate for a more equitable global financial architecture, refuse to be mere spectators in debates that affect our sovereignty. We use our voice to urge the global powers to ensure that the rules of the international system work for many, not just for the few. Excellencies, the year 2025 also carried special significance for the international community as the 80th anniversary of the United Nations. For Tanzania, this milestone was not merely commemorative. It was an opportunity to reaffirm our enduring faith in multilateralism, international cooperation, and the founding principles of the United Nations. In our engagement at the United Nations during this anniversary year, Tanzania underscored a clear message that the credibility and relevance of the multilateral system must be preserved through equity, inclusiveness, respect for international law, and meaningful reform, particularly to ensure that the voices and interests of developing countries are fully reflected. Tanzania reaffirmed that peace, development, and human dignity are inseparable, and that global challenges demand collective, rule-based solution rather than unilateral actions. Excellencies, it is undeniable that Tanzania's outlook on the global scene in 2025 was both prospective and challenging. In the year 2026, our voice will be raised to offer solutions, and our efforts will be concerted to resolve challenges. We'll do so guided by our traditional tenets of promotion of peace and stability, good neighborliness, adherence to the principle of non-alignment, non-interference in domestic affairs of other countries, upholding human rights, including the rights to development, and promoting regionalism and multilateralism. Tanzania will therefore not seek to take sides in a divided world, but rather will seek to build bridges that will bring the world together. Our commitment is towards a world governed by law, not by force. Excellencies, it will be remiss of me if I do not appreciate the support rendered by your respective governments to various candidatures of Tanzania in different organizations whose elections was held in 2025. Moreover, In advancing our cultural diplomacy, Tanzania continues to champion the promotion of Kiswahili as a unifying language that connects peoples, culture, and economies across borders. A particularly historic milestone was reached last year with UNESCO's decision to recognize Kiswahili as one of the official languages of its General Conference. This decision of a profound importance, as it marks the very first time a language of African origin has been accorded such status as the organization's highest decision-making body. Thank you very much, UNESCO. In conclusion, Your Excellencies, Tanzania remains a friend for all. We are non-aligned but multi-engaged, bridging the global West concessional support or the global East infrastructure support. We seek sovereign pragmatism and engage in partnership that respect our autonomy while delivering mutual prosperity. The United Republic of Tanzania is focusing on its future. We seek trade, not aid, technology transfer, not technical assistance. We welcome collaboration in de-risking projects through development financing institutions, export credit, blended finance, and risk insurance. We encourage deeper private sector linkages and strong people-to-people ties through education, skills partnership, and cultural cooperation. We are building a nation that has learned from its past and focusing on its future. I urge you to look beyond the headlines of the past months and see the structural reforms we are undertaking. Our doors are open, our policy is clear, and our resolve is firm. Let us move from dialogue to delivery and from shared intent to shared impact. Let us build together for global prosperity. I end my remarks as I began by wishing you, your families, staffs, governments, organizations a happy and prosperous New Year 2026. May I now request you to join me in a toast. Let's toast for the continued peace and prosperity of the United Republic of Tanzania, for the strengthened friendship and cooperation between Tanzania and your countries and organizations, and for the continued well-being of all of us here present. Cheers and a Happy New Year. Thank you very much. Asante sana. Coca-Cola.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the President, for your leadership and for your reflection of 2025 and sharing your vision for 2026. And specifically, you are resolved to use your second term to repair, rebuild, and renew our nation. This, Your Excellency, is truly living the saying that life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forward. And for that to happen, your call for partnership speaks volumes. That Tanzania remains a friend for all. Your Excellency, the President, we thank you. Your Excellency, Excellencies, honorable guests, we will now move forward from formal remarks to a one-by-one greet Her Excellency, the President's session. Your Excellency, with your permission, may I kindly invite you to proceed to the center of the stage for the diplomatic community to greet you. Thank you, Your Excellency. Your Excellencies, we kindly request that we keep it brief.
Institute of Technology and Management kilichopo Mwenge, Dar es Salaam na chenye ithibati na usajili wa NACTVET namba REG/ANE /029 anapenda kuwatangazia ofa maalum wahitimu wote wa kidato cha 4 mwaka 2025 kwa kozi mbalimbali zikiwemo Computer Application, ICT for Beginners, CCTV Camera, Video Production, Graphic Design pamoja na mapishi ya vyakula vya Kichina. Kozi hizi zitaanza tarehe 5 mwezi wa kwanza mwaka 2026. Kumbuka, umalizapo mafunzo ya mapishi ya vyakula vya Kichina tutakupatia ajira ndani ya mwezi mmoja. Pia muhula mpya wa masomo wa kozi za IT, Hotel Management na Front Office utaanza tarehe 14 Januari 2026. Kwa maelezo zaidi piga simu namba 0754864361 au 0715075840. KITM, elimu na ujuzi kwa maendeleo ya uchumi.